Welcome back to the channel. We are talking today about how you can make consistent £2,000 months versus the strategy to make a once-off £2,000. It's so interesting when I talk to new business owners and they think that the strategy that they're going to use to make their first £1,000, £2,000, £3,000 is gonna work as a strategy on a longer term to make consistent income months. And the reason why this is interesting is because when you first start, the likelihood is that the way that you make money is going to be a little bit kind of messy, gritty, haphazard. You're going to be doing lots of different things and figuring it out. And versus the other side of the coin, once you are making consistent income months, you're building a bit of a system, a bit of a strategy around how you make that amount of money. And I want to talk to you about these two different methods. So the first idea is this idea of like gritty, get £2,000 into your business right now, you know, this month, in this moment. And there's so many ways that you can do this. I have 6 ways that I always talk to clients about. 4 of them are like super gritty, like if you've got nothing in your business, you can start with these. And then 2 of them are a bit more structured and a bit more like moving into the consistent income. But I love all of them nonetheless. So we're going to talk about those in a moment. And then the flip side of that coin is actually what systems you need to set up and how you need to put in place practices so that you can consistently make income. You can consistently show up and consistently make sales. So there's 2 different strategies here that we're going to talk through. So the first one, gritty sales. Gritty sales is how you make £2,000 in your business in this moment, now, with what you have available to you. And there's a couple of different things that we're going to talk through. So I'm going to talk through 4 key strategies, 4 key places that you can go to start getting your name out there, putting offers out into the world. And the really key thing around this gritty approach is that the offer has to directly match the action that you're taking. So I wouldn't be able to go into a group and talk about like in general and then try and lead people into like balance code the business school as an offer. Like I would have to get super specific and say, you know, if you want consistent income months, if you want to be able to do this in a way that's easy and calm, if you want to be able to do this without triggering your nervous system, and my method in would have to really like directly link to the offer that I'm offering. Okay, this is really important to understand when it comes to gritty sales. So the first thing that you can do, which a lot of people don't do, is they don't look at the people that they already know and like the network that they have around them. So this could be network groups, this could be, you know, colleague group, friend groups, any group of people, communities that you're in, maybe a church, maybe a social group, whatever it is. And looking at that group of people and thinking, is there anyone in this group of people who I could potentially create an offer for, who I could potentially serve and they could potentially pay me money? On top of that, is there anybody in that group who could potentially recommend me to somebody else who I could serve? So there's like 2 lines. And if we get into this kind of like networking space with this in mind, I'm going into this room because I want to be able to make a list of people who I can offer something to. You want to really listen really carefully as to what people are struggling with. You hear somebody say, oh, I'm really struggling with XYZ. Like I recently did an offer in my business, not out loud to the public, not to anyone else, just like internally to make some quick cash for like starting the podcast, because I wanted to put the podcast out into the world and it was going to take a bit of capital and I hadn't built it into the year plan. So I suddenly thought, oh, okay, I'm just gonna have to make some extra money so I can get the podcast into the world. And I literally sat down and I said, okay, what groups am I in and what could these people use? One of the groups that I'm in is like a business group. Everyone's busy like growing their businesses, and a lot of people in that group were struggling with the creations of their lead magnets, the design aspects, or their social media posts. So I put out an offer and I said, I can do this for you, like done for you. I will take it off your hands. I will get it done for you. Amazing. Then I looked at my own business community and I went, okay, so these are the women that pay me to be in the business school. what do they need? And there was a couple of people in there who I was like, oh, actually, if I put together like a straightforward like one-to-one offer to really nail in on this particular problem that they're having, they would probably pay me for that. And I put that out to them, and I got a couple of people say yes, and we were working one-to-one together. Then I went out and I looked at the communities that I'm in, and I thought, okay, how could I put something out to those communities? And I just carried on going through this thing of saying, who are all of my networks and what are the offers that I could create for them? Okay, so this is one pathway to this gritty sales like work. Another pathway is doing a very similar thing to your networks, but doing it with Facebook groups. So Facebook groups are a great community. If you're in some already, this is incredible. Go in there with the specific desire of thinking, what offers can I put in here to serve these people? What problems can I solve for people? And even if it's like a £50 offer or a £100 offer, or like something way lower than what you would normally charge for your big main thing, just think about how you can get in front of these people, get your offers out, and get money in the door. Like that's the core purpose when we're trying to just make a quick £2,000 into the business. Okay. Once you've got your networks, again, you can write down all those people's names and the types of offers that you can create for them. Like, so you've got this like a list being formed. Another thing that you can do is you can do talks or podcast like guest interviews where you can pitch yourself to other people's communities. So you can go in either in the groups that you're already in, networking, whether it's face-to-face or online, or Facebook communities, or programs that you're in, and you can say to people, I really can see a gap here that I could fill. I really think I could teach somebody something about, this very specific area, and I would love to come in and do like a 20-minute, half an hour talk on that specific thing. And again, this gives you the opportunity to do the talk, have a really specific lead magnet that gets people engaged, brings people to the front of the room, and then those people you can add to this list of like, this person was interested in this particular thing, this was the problem I could solve for them, this is the offer that I could sell them. Now, when you're creating what I call gritty offers, they're not going to be massive, multi-layered, like filmed, like hardcore offers. They're going to be quick and easy to implement, and if everybody says no, you've lost no time. So for instance, I will go out with an offer that I've never created before that fixes a problem for somebody, and then once I'm finished delivering that offer, I will go circle back to the beginning and I will take everything that I've created and I will make it into a digital product offer that I can sell. So Easy Reels is a perfect example of this. Gritty Sales is a perfect example of this. Offers where I'm literally saying, this is something that I physically helped a client through, and now that I've done it, I can package it all up and then I can sell it en masse to other people. This is what I want you to think about, because this is where your 2K strategy becomes your consistent income strategy. Okay, so keep this in mind. It's like a cycle. So once you've got like these 4 ways, you've done your talks, you've done your podcast, you've got people onto your email list, you have posted in Facebook groups and found people that you can potentially help and solve problems for, you have gone out to networking groups, you're now going to take this whole list of potential clients and you're going to have their names and you're going to have a place where you can contact them, whether it's email, direct message on Instagram or Facebook, however you normally talk to this person. And then could be that you write down all of the offers that you could offer to these people, and it might be like the same offer slightly tweaked, or it might be 2 or 3 different offers, and it might just be like, oh, we could work together one-to-one and get you this specific outcome that you want over a 3-month period. Like, it doesn't have to be anything complex. And then you start your DM strategy. Then you start actually reaching out to these people and saying, oh my gosh, I know that in this networking group you said you really want to fix this particular problem. I've actually got a way to help you with that using XYZ method, and I would love for you to give me a chance to be able to help you. We can work together one-to-one over 3 months and it's going to cost X amount of money. Or you can go out to them and say, oh my gosh, I've got this thing that I've already created which I helped a client like get X result with. Do you want to have access to it? I can give you a 20% discount, it'll be X amount. Like, you literally go out to this list and you just offer every single person on the list something. something that they can say yes or no to, something that can get you in front of people, something that can get money in your bank account. And 9 times out of 10, if you have written that offer really, really well, and it specifically talks to the problem that a person's having, and you've priced it at a no-brainer, like easy price, there is no reason why people won't say yes to you. There is no reason that people won't say, yes, please. And 9 times out of 10, when I do this like cash injection method, I have multiple people saying yes. I have multiple people like snatching my hand off. How do I pay for that? Can I pay in full? Can I pay over installments? Oh my gosh, I'd love to do that with you. Like, people literally reach out and they're like, yes, this is what I want. Oh my gosh, this is what I need in my life. On the flip side, we then have our consistent income strategy. Now, that strategy that I've just explained to you, it can be really messy. It can be really tiring. It can be a lot to like constantly be going into all of these places and doing all of these things. So either you have to build systems to make each one of those things super easy for you to do, and that becomes your strategy to make sales, or you need to move into doing things like webinars and doing things like funnels. And your webinar can be part of your funnel. Or you can have a different lead magnet that leads into your funnel, because a funnel starts to actually move people onto an email list. It starts to give you a more direct way to talk to people en masse rather than direct messaging, and it starts to get a singular offer into focus. So for instance, I will build a funnel specifically for the Balance Code program. The Balance Code program is a larger program. It is, a 4-figure investment. It takes people through a lifetime access of actually building their business, getting to consistent income months, getting over all of those barriers in their mindset and the way that they show up, not burning out, like all of these things. And actually selling that as like a quick DM drop of, do you want to drop 4 figures to come into this program? It doesn't necessarily work as easily as selling the more kind of entry-level, low-ticket stuff. But once all of those people are in the entry-level, low-ticket stuff and they trust me, it's so much easier to move them across into the big program. So that kind of like lead in really does work. But if I'm going to build a funnel that is specifically to sell the big program, I need it to be a bit more robust. So I might do a webinar. I might do like a 90-minute or a 45-minute where I'm actually teaching people something really specific and getting them an outcome before they've even paid me. I might go in and share my longer copy, like 40-page download guide that tells people step by step how to make a consistent income. I'm talking to a much bigger problem that is multifaceted and sits across multiple layers of social media, of an offer, of marketing, of your messaging, of all of these things, rather than this gritty version where I'm honing in and saying, you're not making sales, let me tell you how, or you're not posting reels, let me show you how, or you're not able to write those 52 emails and schedule all of your content for a year, let me show you how. Like, having a really specific outcome versus having a bigger program that's got a bigger outcome, it's easier to sell that in a bigger way, in a more kind of structured way. So we create this funnel, we create this process where we're posting content, we're getting people onto our into our lead magnets, whether they're webinars, whether they are roadmaps or checklists or big PDF guides, whatever you want to create. You're going through this process and saying, this is going to be the system that I create in order to get people on board. And then you do the front end. It still takes work, it still takes time. I'm not saying that it's suddenly like, simple, but you do the front end with the social posting. And once people get onto your email list, everything else is automated. Yeah, you go and you can even record the webinar. It's a recorded webinar. They watch it, they engage with the emails, they could potentially book a discovery call that would be live. And then they can decide if they want to buy the thing or not buy the thing. Like, there's so many steps that people can take, and we're not going to get into funnels in masses of detail today. But I want you to see the difference between these two strategies. This like gritty, all hands on deck, making money, getting your name out there, showing up in the world, like showing people what you're made of, showing people how you can help them, versus this much more structured, calm, like I'm going out into the world with a plan. I'm going out into the world with a actual offer that really has an impact on a longer term. I'm going out with content that is more sort of timeless and can get people on board at any point. It's a very different strategy than this like DM super specific to that person. And it's really important that you understand the difference, because so many people are not willing to do the gritty things to get started and get their first clients and get their first 2,000 in and get their name known. They want to go straight into the systemization, and they don't have enough credibility at that point to actually start making really good sales. And then on the flip side, so many people get stuck in this gritty sales place and end up burning themselves out because they're constantly like chasing their tail, trying to get more people to DM and more people to talk to and more cold leads. Whereas if they actually built this system that built a lot more trust and a lot more credibility over a period of time, they could get people onto their email list, grow that, and then they would have this constant flow of leads. So it's like a really interesting split between the two. And I want you to think about in your business, like, where are you at the moment? Where are you existing at the moment? Are you in one? Are you kind of moving between the two? Are you in the kind of consistent income side but not making an income because you haven't done the gritty stuff yet? And like, really just think about what this looks like. And obviously, if you want the gritty sales, the actual mini program that I've created, you can absolutely get a link to that in the description below, or you can comment gritty sales and I'll send you the link directly. Because honestly, like, getting started and making sales in your business can sometimes feel like the hardest thing, and I don't want it to be. So in that gritty sales program, I show you 6 methods to make sales in your business now, and then how you start to bridge that across into making consistent sales as well. So like, it's such a useful package to have. But I want you to really just think about this, like, where are you existing with this at the moment, and what does this look like for you? Because I want business to be so friggin' easy for you, and it doesn't have to be hard. Like, really, it doesn't have to be. So if you're not already, please make sure that you like and subscribe and comment on this video. It makes a massive difference to the channel. Next week we will be back for our next meditation, and I cannot wait to share it with you. But for now, I want you to dive in and start making sales in your business.